Hey, Matt Man's back. Is hoarding copper a good idea? We've been hearing for a long time now that demand for copper is going to increase due to the switch from fossil fuels to the green energy. Solar and wind require much more energy than fossil fuels do to generate, and EVs, electric vehicles, require much more copper than uh, internal combustion engines. This is a graph of the price of copper over the last 5 years. As you can see, the price of copper was between $2.50 and $3 a pound going into 2020 and then bottomed out with COVID. It quickly rebounded as the realization that, the copper will be demanded, and, we're heading into a new age here, and went well up over $4.50 a pound. Had a correction in the middle of last year, rose up, and it's sitting there at $3.78 right now. The truth is, there's plenty of copper out there. The copper companies have consolidated and geared up and are producing to meet the demand for today and in the near future. But as time goes on, the demand is going to keep increasing, and the amount of copper produced is going to remain static from here on out. And there's no reason for mining companies to produce new mines until the price of copper reaches the point that makes it profitable. Creating new mines is very expensive and requires a very long lead time. Mining companies have to be motivated to increase their production. There are other events that might cause the price of copper to go up. Natural disasters, imagine an earthquake in New Guinea, or political upheaval, a revolution in Chile. Now, any disruption in supply is going to have to be made up by recycling, by scrappers. This is basically stripped wire and other, just little pieces. It adds up. That's number 2. Right now, that's going for about $2.65 a pound. This is real thick, one piece. The amount of track lighting, and it's just a strip of copper down the light that no matter where you move the fixture, it will always have a contact. So this is like some of the best copper there is. This is, I think it's bare bright, however the gauge might be too small, but it's all one strand. This is multi-strand wire. It will always be number 2. But once it gets to a certain thickness, it will go to, number 1 or bare bright, and requires a premium. So is hoarding copper a good idea? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I feel a steady increase in demand, the cost of opening new mines, other disruptions, and inflation will all cause the price of copper to go up. So if you decide you want to hoard copper, where do you get it? Well, the first thing I can tell you is where not to get it, and that is to buy bullion. Out there you'll find ounce rounds, like silver rounds of copper. There's about a quarter's worth of copper in that, and they're going to charge you $2-3 for it. You'll never get that back out of it. Never say never. You're not likely to get that out of it. This stuff is free. It's out there. You just gotta pick it up and process it. Track lights, wire, there's more wire, electric motors. It all depends on how much you want to do. Some of it's easy, some of it's not so easy. But, it's a hobby. It's fun. I like tearing stuff up. The other way to get it is pennies. Now, all pennies before 1982 have copper in them. Pennies after 1982 are made of zinc, and in 1982 there's both. So that how you tell the difference is the ones with copper weigh 3.1 grams, and the ones with zinc weigh 2.5 grams. Another interesting note, before World War II, 1942 and before, they were made out of brass, which means they were 95% copper and 5% tin. After World War II, after they made the steel cents in 1943, they were made out of brass, 95% copper and 5% zinc. This is a screenshot from coinflation.com, and it shows all of the coins and the value of the metal inside of them. And if you look at the pennies, pennies are 251.61% of the value of the pennies. So there's 2.5 cents worth of metal in one penny. So 250%, where else can you get that kind of return instantly? Of course, you can't go and just cash it in for the 2.5 cents. There are laws out there that say you can't profit from the difference in the value of the metal, melting it or selling it or doing anything like that. It's not illegal to melt it. You just can't sell it and get the profit from the difference of the metal. You can still collect it up and you can trade it for its value with other like-minded people, but what's going to happen is eventually the price of copper is going to spike, and the government's going to step in and say, hey, we got all this copper sitting out there, let's use it. And they'll change the law and they'll allow this stuff to be cashed in for the value of the metal, just like they did for silver back in the 1960s. So just like anything else, there are downsides. Majority is the bulk of it, the weight. $1,000 of gold is 1/2 ounce. $1,000 in silver is 40 troy ounces. $1,000 in copper is 400 pounds. And it'll take up the size of about a closet. So, if you have the space to do it, and if you have the space to store it, and if you got the muscle to move it, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be stacking. If you're still with me, thank you so much for hanging in there. Hit that subscribe button if you're so inclined, and share it. That's my views on hoarding copper. That's my 2 cents worth. Or is it 4 cents? Or is it nonsense? Let me know in the comments. Matt Man's out.